Don't tell me we're going live. Oh, what? Is that my internet? It can't be. Hey, everyone. Welcome to our Self-Care Sunday. I'm super pumped up that you guys decided to join us. My name is Natasha McCrea. I am the Love CEO. I coach ambitious, goal-getting women how to tap into their own self-love as well as their dreams by designing the life that they want. So today I have Denshai and Chelsea here, and we decided to do a live so that we could talk about self-care and romance. And when you tune in, I want you to let us know where you're tuning in from. When you're tuning in from, give us a shout out, say hey, post any questions that you might have. We'll try to answer those questions. Today, we're going to talk about self-care and romance from 3 different perspectives, because we're all coming from 3 different perspectives, as well as I'm going to announce the self-care box that I'm giving away, because Denshai and Chelsea have a company called Bag Box, which is a self-care box subscription, which gets your life right. It'll snatch them edges. So I figure, why don't we just dive right in. First, introduce yourselves, and then let's talk about our first experiences with self-care. Hey, Nicole.
So I'm Denshai, and the very first time that I started to identify with self-care was after I got really ill, and the doctors didn't know what was wrong with me. And then that's when I took self-care very serious.
How about you, Chelsea?
I'm Chelsea. I think that I like this question a lot, because I think that I have always practiced self-care even from like as a kid. I just didn't know that that's what I was doing. And so my perspective kind of changed a little bit once I entered into the professional world, and I had all of these like outside influences and things happening. And then I realized I needed to come back to my self-care practices in order to like come back to myself a little bit.
Yeah. You guys, I wish I could say I learned it younger, but I don't think I did. I didn't learn it younger. I had a misconception of it. It was like, oh yeah, self-care, I'm going to take a bath and that's going to be my self-care. But I will honestly say probably after I started Love CEO Institute, maybe about maybe a year or 2 into it, because I started the business while I was working full time. And so I would come home and sit at my computer and just like plow out content and work, but I wasn't taking care of myself. And it started to show up in my skin. It started to show up in my mood, started to show up in my attitude. And I constantly thought that if I worked harder, then I would get more. Like if I had a goal, that I had to work hard and get more. So when I started feeling busted, like completely busted, and I said, this mess is for the birds, y'all, I was on E, and I have a talk about that, like where you get on E before you do self-care. I was on empty. I literally stopped my business for like 3 or 4 months. I don't think anybody knew that, but I just stopped it. I was like, I'm done. And so that was when I started tapping into, well, how can I make myself feel better? And then I started reading manifestation things, and then I was like, you know what? If I don't feel good, then the things I want to manifest are not likely to show up. So that was probably in 2000. I want to say that was about 2015. It was about a year after I got married. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. So do you guys think that like now self-care is such a huge thing? It's floating around the internet. It's said out there loud. I'm proud that it's said out there loud, but sometimes people kind of go, oh, self-care, I've heard that before. What do you guys think about self-care now and how it is out in society, especially for us women?
I think there's a lot of different messaging about it. And I think that was something that we always say over and over again, is that it looks different for everyone. And what someone else is saying is self-care may not be the same for you, and that's okay. And so hearing it over and over again, I think can be good, because you can hear different messages about what is self-care, and you can really find that thing that works for you.
Yeah, we talked about that in the program too.
You hear it so much now, which is good. I think it's I think right now, because of the things that are going on with the pandemic, is, reminding people you don't have those outlets that you used to have that you thought were self-care, which were like going to get a manicure and a pedicure, or going to get your weekly or monthly massage, or going on those getaways. Those things that are a part of a self-care plan, but they could be rather expensive. And now that we're hearing the message more, I think we're starting to hear also people simplifying it and tying it into mental health and into physical health. And really, it's starting to get like the full spectrum of what self-care truly is. It's not just, for stress relief from that perspective, but it's also taking care of yourself inside and out.
Yeah, that's so true. You guys are making a great point, and that's one of the reasons I developed the Real Self-Care for Alpha Females workshop. It wasn't just, oh yeah, it's something great for me, for me to do for people. It literally is so that we can look at a well-rounded idea of self-care and personalize it. And that was something that I discovered for myself, because I was doing certain self-care things that weren't fulfilling. They felt good, but they weren't like rejuvenating my soul. Have you guys found that, like, in learning your self-care practices, that you had to, like what Chelsea said, discover what works for me? Because I had to do that. I had to find the books and read the books and go, okay, what is really going to rejuvenate my soul? Because there was a lot of times where self-care felt stressful because I was trying to plug it in because that's what people said, I had to do, but I wasn't doing the things that felt good for me. That's something that, did you guys have to deal with that? Or did you dive in and be like, hey, I got my plan? Like, what was it for you?
Yeah.
I think for me, it was a little bit of both. It was like I was doing a lot of the things that I just thought you were supposed to do. And then actually it was in one of your courses where, or maybe it was my private coaching, that you had me list down the things that brought me joy. And I had to really sit back and assess, was this activity I was doing or this place I was going bringing me joy or not? And if not, I just crossed it off and was like, I'm not doing that. That's just not what I like.
Yeah,
and then
I
to find out that self-care could be, I love flowers. And if I'm not in a romantic relationship where that person buys me flowers weekly, so I buy them for myself, but it makes me so happy and it lights me up. So for me, it was a journey, like, to get to those things and really find out what those things were that would rejuvenate me.
Yeah.
Because I remember sometimes going to the spa with my girlfriends that I love to do it, like, you needed a day off from it because you weren't just like sitting by the pool relaxing. You were sitting by the pool and you were talking, and then homegirl had a problem, and then you got to like talk her through her problem. So you're actually like, I didn't feel rejuvenated. I'm actually depleted. And now I need a day to myself.
Yeah, the vacation from the vacation.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. So you have a company. It's called Bagbox.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about it, but also I want to know, did you always know you were going to offer self-care? How did you get to the point of it being a self-care subscription box?
That was the first thing we talked about.
We wanted it to be like, we have to have a way to always work together. So we knew we wanted to have a company together. But we didn't know what it would be. And I always have these ideas. So I would just like, what if, blah, 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 right? And Chelsea would listen to them over wine, of course. And then there was one day that I came up with this thing where somebody referred to me in the work environment, referred to me as a badass bee. The female version of it.
Explicitive, yes.
And it really made me feel like, I know maybe she meant it in an empowering way, but it didn't feel empowering at all. And I was like, I'm not bad, and I'm definitely not the B word. I'm always trying to help and be supportive. And I was like, I'm a boss ass goddess. And Chelsea was like, you're a bag. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, that's for boss ass goddess. And I'm like, okay. And so at the particular time, I had really gotten into self-care, and Chelsea was offering some different things for me to try, because that was also around the time that I had this mystery health condition that doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong. And for me, it was just like, I really have to start diving into taking good care of myself. And so I was saying, what if we boxed up some of these things that we've been doing and keep ourselves, like keep our minds right, our bodies right, our energy right. And Chelsea was like all over that. And she was like,
she's like, I will add the magical fairy dust to the That's the thing. I love getting my box, y'all. I mean, I know you client, however, I'm a client of yours now. I know when I get my box, it's just this uplifting, great reminder, especially like it being on the cycle, you know, the moon cycle, because it just reminds me to just slow down. I think that's what it does. It's a great push pause button for me. It's a really good push pause button. I mean, I love it. It's so wonderful. So, I mean, whenever I speak to you guys, I just get so excited because I was able to watch this grow from the concept, the, you know, happy hour, you know, have a glass of wine with your friends and let's talk about it, to actually a full-blown company. You know, your Instagram is just on fleek. You are sending your messages out. You're pivoting when you need to pivot. That was something that I loved when I saw that you guys pivoted and brought the box. I think it was every other month now, right?
Yeah.
So someone's like, how do I get the box? Yes. You guys, we're going to let you know how to get the box. You have an option of going to their website and getting the box, which is boss.com, right?
Yep.
I'm like, yeah. But then we're also, I'm going to tell you now, we're going to go into the actually self-care and romance. But I want to let you guys know, I do have a little banner to show you to let you know how you can get the box. So I'm giving a giveaway. So anyone who joins the Real Self-Care for Alpha Females workshop between now and next week. So I'm going to make the announcement on Tuesday, the 15th. I didn't have that date in there, but Tuesday, the 15th. If you join the Love Sanctuary, and if you're already in the Love Sanctuary to become, to go be in the self-care workshop, then you're going to invite someone and be entered into the drawing. So you're either going to register for the workshop and you'll be entered into the drawing, and you can invite friends and you'll be entered into the drawing. And as many times as you invite someone, you will be entered into the drawing to win a self-care box from these gorgeous ladies at Bag Box. So I also want to let everybody know what kind of boxes we're going to do. We're doing something different this time. We're going to have an option between 3 boxes. So the winner gets to choose. Why don't you guys tell me about the box that they're going to get to choose? Boxes. Choose from.
So let's start with XOXO box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This box is about self-love. Chelsea, if you want to chime in, there's 4 items in it.
That's a rose quartz bracelet. Rose quartz is the stone of love.
There's
Which I have.
there's a set.
Yeah, it's a lip scrub and a lip balm set, so you can exfoliate your lips and then moisturize for kissing. And then that's the daily self-love commitment tracker. So that is basically just a tool for you to make some little commitments to yourself for how to show yourself love. You can date it and rip it off the pad, stick it up somewhere where you can see it.
I love it.
And then there's a book. It's called Kiss, Keep It Simple, Sexy, written by a woman.
Yes.
Love that book. It is very quick, easy to read, and she gives you really simple insights, helpful insights into how to show yourself more love, how to take just a little bit better care of your body and your love life and all of that stuff, because all of those things go together.
That was really practical. I liked that. So that is the XOXO box.
Yep.
And then the other box.
Our next box is our newest box that's out right now. It has this cute bath bomb.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
This box
smells so good.
This box is called Roar, ROAR.
Yes. And it stands for rest, as in take some time to rest. Open, as in open yourself to receiving all that you want. Action, as in take some action towards those things that you want to achieve. And R for repeat.
I love it.
All over again.
I love that.
So there's a face mask in there. There's bath bomb in there. There's these moonstone crystals in there that are for new beginnings. And there's excellent book that is based on the moon phases. It's a quote book. And
Oh,
so
I love this. This book was so good.
yeah, these quotes are amazing, and they kind of follow that cycle of rest. So there's quotes in there about taking time to rest, being open to receiving, taking action, and of course, read it over again to repeat.
Yes. I love just flipping it open to any page and just reading what it says. I love doing that.
Me too. And then the third option is a box that was really popular. I think this year has been our most popular box. It's called Level Up.
Oh, yes. That's the one that we gave away last time. We gave up the Level Up box. Gave away.
Gave away.
Giving up the Level Up box.
So this box is all about reaching your goals. So it's about setting intentions and reaching your goals. And in the area of setting intentions, there's a candle, and the candle has a quote underneath it. This is from a woman-owned business called Faint Essence. And it says, the affirmation says, I freely welcome joy and abundance into my life.
Yes.
There's a kit. This manifestation kit has soil, it has crystal, and it also has a seed paper, and you write what you want to manifest, and you grow it into a plant.
Yeah.
There's a citrine crystal. Chelsea, want to talk about that?
Yes, citrine is a very powerful action stone, and it helps with stimulating creativity and drawing people to you who are kind of like your tribe. So that's a really good crystal for manifesting whatever you want to manifest in your life and drawing the people that will help you do that.
And then last but not least in this box, there is the Crush Your Goals deck. This deck is really cool. It's about 48 different cards, and the cards have these powerful quotes on them. The first one that I just opened it up to, it says, the only way to get a thing done is to start. Then keep on doing it. And finally, you'll finish it. So it's a great way when you're looking for something to motivate you, especially these times where you're kind of more and you're just like, I don't feel like doing anything. You pick a quote card and it's like fire you up and you're ready to get it up. Do it.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Okay, so you guys get to choose from one of those three boxes. You must go to loveCEOsanctuary.com, loveCEOsanctuary.com, and register, and then tell all your friends about it. And your friends let us know that you were the person who had them, invited them to the workshop, and you will be entered into the drawing. That is going to be September 15th. I'm super excited about that. So let us talk about romance and self-care. Let us talk about romance and self-care, because I got opinions. I got opinions about that. And I say that because most people know this is my third marriage, and the first two just sucked. I didn't know what I was doing. I don't know any other way to say it. And I was not a priority. I did not think of put myself first. And I don't mean put yourself first with the absence of your spouse. I mean just putting yourself first so that you can give from a full cup and not from like an empty cup. And you want to give from the saucer, particularly from the overflow. But I just didn't know anything about that. And I found that I lost myself. I totally lost myself. I was miserable. And even though I chose guys who were kind of womanizers, sorry, fellas, if you happen to be watching this, but it's just a fact. But I was still that person who didn't have a life outside of her spouse. I thought I did. I would do certain things or try to do certain things, but I really didn't. And I was miserable and I lost myself. And so just diving into self-care and keeping it fresh in my new marriage, which is 6 years, it's still new to me, is huge. And I have to continue to remember to do that. I have to continue to remember to do that because, I want to spend time with him and I'm like, hey, why don't you come with me to do this? But I'm thinking, no, you need to go for this walk by yourself right now and listen to maybe some meditation music or a podcast or something that can rejuvenate you or makes you feel good. Like that's like one of my experiences with self-care and romance. But when you're thinking about self-care and romance, how does that apply to you? I mean, the both of you, because I know there's another perspective at different stages when it comes to romance.
Do you want to go first, Shells? Or
Sure. I'm actually getting married in about 30 days. So, and yes, self-care has been a big part of my relationship, even though at the beginning I may not have called it that. But I do see a lot, especially with other girlfriends and things. And I've even done it myself, you know, where you get into a relationship and you lose yourself in that relationship because you want to be with that person all the time and you want your whole life to revolve around that person. But that is not healthy. You don't want to lose your own identity and lose your own life in someone else's life. So it's always been important to me to maintain, sorry, my cat is freaking out right next to me. You have to maintain your relationships with your girlfriends. That's very important. Taking time for yourself to do the things that you like to do that your partner, maybe they are not into, and that is okay. It's good to have separate lives that come together at certain times and then come apart at certain times. I mean, there are times when I will tell my fiance, I'm like, I need this day by myself. And I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but
yeah,
I'm going to need that day.
Well, that's great. I love that.
Yeah, it's very important.
From my perspective, I have been married. I got married when I was really young and I didn't know what I was doing, similar. So I probably didn't really know that it was called self-care, but like going through the dating process where you meet people and then people are really into you and then people do these things like ghosting or it just doesn't work. You just don't click. That can really start to deteriorate your self-esteem if you're not constantly rebuilding yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're not like, you have to get to a point where you're happy being alone with yourself. And I believe that that's what makes you a better partner. So it's always about, for me, self-care, even in the dating process, is all about replenishing yourself, getting to know yourself so you could communicate to a future partner better, the things that you like, the things that you need. And then you really like are in love with yourself. If you're really in love with yourself, you are able to identify who might be a good partner a little better and run away from red flags a little bit sooner, just because you're not as willing to put up with certain treatment.
Yeah, honey.
Yeah, I've had, just to like call out a couple things, I've dated someone for several months and then he determined like, and he said this, and he was like, you know, if you were, you would be perfect. Like you'd be the perfect wife if you just lost a few pounds. And I was like, are you serious?
And it's set this.
Yes. And it's like,
Lord,
if I didn't love myself, I would have had the nerve to be like, okay, well, if I'm that amazing and you just want somebody with a different body type, go find somebody just as amazing who already has that body type, because this is my body type.
Yeah.
And even though I'm in the process of losing weight for health reasons, it's not because somebody told me I need to lose weight. It's because what's going on in my body that I want to make sure that I'm taking care of my body so that I can live a long time.
Yeah. That's
in
good.
relationships, you can really get lost in the comments that people make, depending on the type of person that you are. I'm an empath, so I take on even like somebody's energy when they're around me, that it could be something totally different. But if I don't give myself the time to replenish myself and build myself up, you can be a mess, a wreck.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That is a really great point, because there's so many things in life that kind of pull from us that just take our energy. And sometimes it's even, you know, friends and lovers and everything could be positive, but it's taking our energy. And so when something comes that's even from a negative perspective, it has so much weight. And for us to combat that, we have to be built up. We have to remember, and like you made a great point, is you're constantly filling your cup. Because I think sometimes with self-care, you know, there's a misconception where it's like, oh, I'm going to fill this cup. Fill it. I'm filling it up so it's full. And then you don't think the consistency, the pattern. And that's something that we'll talk about in the workshop, is really implementing a program for yourself that feels good, that you're doing, and it's scheduled before you're completely wiped out.
Yeah.
Because like, even when we did Date Like a Boss Challenge, it was like, okay, well, what are those moments where you can fill yourself up? So when someone does come at you sideways, you know, even if you are, you know, you feel great about yourself, that stuff sometimes it sinks in. Have you guys ever seen the video of the two plants and they had kids walk by these plants and whisper negative things into one plant and positive things into the other plant, and the negative plant like started dwindling?
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was so crazy. So we have to remember to do that for ourselves. I mean, I don't know. Do you feel that if you don't have a self-care plan, that you can still operate in this crazy world? What would you say for the people who be like, yeah, self-care, yeah. And then Shay's like, like, what kind of gosh.
Good luck, boo. If you don't have a self-care plan and you find yourself feeling depleted all the time or burnt out all the time, and then you hear something like this and you ignore it or you don't take it into consideration, good luck is all I have to say, because it's going to turn into other things if you're not taking care of it and it's not consistent, like you said.
Yeah.
Because I mean, for me, at one point, self-care was like, oh, I'm tired, I'm burnt out. Let me go get a massage. Let me go get a pedicure. But that didn't really, it wasn't enough. And it was like, how often can you do it? What, once a month? Once every 2 weeks? And it wasn't really necessarily doing anything for my mental. There's journaling. There's so many different, like, you know, the different intention trackers and self-love trackers. There's so many different ways to replenish yourself that are beyond needing somebody else to do a service for you. Like, yes,
oh, that's good. That's good.
It's going within.
Do for yourself.
Yeah. What did you say, Chelsea?
Oh, I said going within.
That's yeah. For real. And we talk about that in the workshop. And I keep mentioning the workshop. We're having a workshop and y'all gonna show up. But you know you need it. But we talk about the different forms of self-care, and I cover the 4 pillars of self-care, which cover, you know, that mental, that physical, that emotional. Like, there's so many different ways of doing it. And it, based on your love language, like, you know, getting the massage may not fully replenish you. And plus, if you're starting at negative, most of the time when you do self-care, like you may be a negative 50 and you did self-care and it took, you know, you upped it maybe 40. So you haven't even gotten to thriving. And so the reason we here truly believe in self-care is because we are passionate. Oh yeah, Jessica, can you drop the link? I know Jessica's watching. The link to register. It is loveceosanctuary.com. But the reason you really want to make sure you have that self-care plan is because you're not operating from like negative. Yeah. And you want to always be abundantly thriving.
Yes.
Not like just making it. It's like, how can I abundantly thrive through this world? How can I abundantly thrive through this world? So I hope all this was helpful. Do you guys have any last words that you would like to leave with this amazing tribe of women who are watching? Guys, too, send it to your wife, your girlfriend.
Don't wait. Don't wait until it's too late. You will, I mean, from experience, I have noticed, like, if you're just like what Natasha was saying, you're just going, and you wait till you get to the point where you're on empty, you will start to see the breakdown of your body. You will start to see the breakdown of your relationships. You'll start to see the breakdown of your life. And it may just come in the form of like, I just hate everything about my life right now. And you don't want to be in that place. So take the time now to take care of yourself.
And I would say burnout ain't cute, boo.
Burnout ain't cute, boo. That needs to be on a shirt. We're going to have shirts, y'all, soon. Burnout ain't cute, boo. Oh, I love that. I love that. I hope you guys that we just gave you a little snippet into looking at self-care from a deeper perspective. And what does someone says, my favorite quote, if you do not go within, you go without. Oh, in reference to Chelsea. Yes. I know I need to get someone on here. Yes. Oh, I love that.
I love that.
But I would just want to make sure that each and every one of you have an opportunity to dive into your own personalized self-care, create that blueprint for yourself, because our objective is to have women thriving.
Yes.
Thriving, not just making it, not just winging it, but actually thriving and loving your life. So make sure you go register at loveceosanctuary.com for our workshop. And how can they, if someone's like, I can't wait for that giveaway and I want to get my box right now, where would you say to send them to?
Our website is bossassgoddess.com. Everything's there. And Instagram, b.a.g.box at Instagram. You can contact us there, DM us, whatever you want.
Great. Great. All right, ladies. So that is all we got. I want to make sure that you guys register for the workshop, and I love both of you. This was so wonderful conversation. I want us to keep this conversation going. I feel like this might be some kind of regular thing, but we'll talk about that later. You guys go out and have an amazing self-care Sunday. Bye.
Bye.